Our setup at the back is totally different. It just generally, Canate on the ball has been a problem. Basically a pensioner at this point. Our football has been horrendous this season, and I think this was a positive sign. Right, hello everybody, welcome back to The Golden Sky. I'm Tom, and in today's video, I am going to analyse Liverpool's 1-0 win against Inter Milan at the San Siro. A much better showing from Liverpool with a slightly new shape that's been deployed by Arne Slot. So let's get into the video first on the board, having a look at how that new shape works on the pitch. Okay, so this is how Liverpool lined up against Inter Milan, and what we're seeing from Liverpool in the last two games, Leeds and Inter Milan, especially the Inter game with Ekitike and Isak both starting up front, is what people who support Liverpool have been wondering, could it be a possible solution for having those two in the team for a little while, and that is a diamond in the middle. Now, the way I've set it up here is kind of the way I see it being played by us in these games, and it's with Szoboszlai a little bit wider than Jones, and also a little bit more advanced than Jones. I'll show you how it progresses and how it moves quite fluidly when we're building up and also when we're defending in a second. But this is how we lined up against Inter, and I actually think it worked pretty well. And a key element for being able to play a diamond is that it doesn't need Mo Salah in the team, which is obviously the big talking point of the minute, and almost not having him available for selection in this game forced us to play this way. And I think we saw that it was actually a pretty good way of playing for the current set of players that we have. So how does it work? Well, let's get the ball onto the pitch, and the idea with the diamond is to pack the midfield and get a lot of players who are comfortable on the ball. Now, the width in a diamond comes from your fullbacks. So in this game, we go with Robbo and Gomez. Now, you would argue this is not our strongest lineup in terms of the fullback position. Robbo obviously getting a little bit up there in age. The idea is obviously for Kirkes to be the main left back in the years to come, and Gomez is more of a centre back, although I do think he's pretty decent at right back. But when you're playing a diamond and you have so many centre midfielders on the pitch, typically you need your fullbacks to cover a lot of distance up the wing, which I think actually suits both Kirkes, Bradley and Frimpong. If Frimpong gets back fit and we're still playing this way, I think this role of being not only the fullback and the width provider, but also in many instances the winger, and we'll look at the clips in the game later on in the video where Bradley is doing that when he came on the pitch, getting in really advanced areas, could suit Frimpong. So let's leave those two up there because they're going to provide the width. Then we have the two strikers, so Ekitike and Isak, both obviously big money signings. Slightly different starts to life at Liverpool. You would say Ekitike definitely had more of a run of it at the minute, but they're occupying the last line of defence. Ekitike more likely the one of the two to drop off and try and link up play, and the link up between these two isn't quite there yet, but this is only the second game they've ever started together, so that partnership obviously needs to come. Now, McAllister has been deployed as our furthest man forward in this game. Wirtz on the bench having a rest in this one. He did come on and he was good in this game. This position is ideal for Wirtz, obviously getting him in that middle with two targets to hit forwards. I think that could be really fruitful for us. Szoboszlai is the heartbeat of the team. He does all the defensive work when we lose the ball. There's many examples in the clips I'll show you in a minute. But he covers loads of ground, basically this whole right-hand side. Not just in the attacking sense, but also defensively. His transitional runs backwards are fantastic. His pressing is fantastic, the way we press. But we're talking on the ball here. So Gravenberch was the man showing for the ball in the middle, and he was able to actually receive the ball a lot more in this game. And the reason why is because he has more freedom to play in the middle of the pitch rather than the sort of difficult positions we've seen him play in so many times so far this season. And the reason why he's able to do this is because our setup at the back is totally different, and these are the last three players have not moved. Now, what we've seen a lot this season is Van Dijk here, Canate here, and then Gravenberch would be here if we're lucky, and the other team would just mark Gravenberch and the ball would come to Canate because they've been filtering the ball to him all the time. We wouldn't have anyone in the middle and he'd have to kick it long or we'd lose possession. What we're doing now with this uh, overloading of centre midfielders and players who are comfortable on the ball in a more of a build-up sense, especially Curtis Jones, who was key in this Inter Milan game, is we're actually bringing Van Dijk into the middle and using Jones in build-up as a sort of third centre-back. And there were many instances where Konate was very wide, Van Dijk was in the middle, and Jones was in this sort of position, with Robbo maybe not this high in build-up, maybe here. And Jones was getting on the ball a lot. And that allows Gravenberch to take up maybe slightly more higher up the pitch positions than Jones, but Jones is extremely good at receiving the ball and keeping it, and his progressive passing is probably better in my eyes than Gravenberch's as well. So he was able to punch these balls in between the lines, not just to Gravenberch but also to McAllister. He played a few to Isak when the distances weren't so large. I've got examples of this to show you later in the video, but this is essentially how we built up. We used Jones, we used Maka, we used Szoboszlai in sort of a back three, with Jones coming in as a third-sided centre-back. It's really interesting, and it works pretty well. Now, when we defended, that's another interesting point of a diamond, because the way you typically think a diamond would defend would be obviously that your fullbacks come back like this. You've got your defensive midfielder and your other midfielder, which in this case will be Jones, sort of dropping in as your centre mids. Szoboszlai will become your right midfielder. You'd have your two strikers in front. And that leaves you number 10. And your number 10 then has to come onto this left-hand side. Otherwise, you're exposed there. So if this is Florian Wirtz, my criticism of the diamond and why I've said it's maybe not the best solution for us is I don't want Wirtz to have to defend as a left midfielder. That is not something that suits his game, in my opinion. But the way that we've been defending, and that you'll see in the clips that I've got for you that I'll show you later in the video, is this is not how we've defended in this setup. We've actually defended with the number 10 almost as the main focal point of the press, the man furthest forward. And then the two strikers have split, almost like wingers, like this. And it's meant that what we've done is bring our midfielders in a 4-3-3, a formation that we're much more used to pressing in and defending in, like this. And we've actually been pretty defensively sound since employing this. I know against Leeds we conceded 3 goals, but if you actually look at the manner of the goals, they were mistakes by Konate, and then a bit of head loss, and then a set piece. We didn't actually give up that many chances, and against Inter we basically gave up no chances. So it's interesting. And this is how we defended, and that allows Wirtz, if he's in this position, to lead the press, something which he's actually pretty good at. So I like this solution for Liverpool at the minute, and I think if we get Frimpong in, or Bradley, Kerkez, that could actually be our best team at the minute. Jones involved, Ekatike and Isak on the same pitch at the same time, Wirtz in the number 10. Maybe this becomes McAllister at times, you know, maybe there's personnel changes, but I think this shape suits the players that we have, and it's interesting to me. So that's how it works. Let's go and look at it in action, actually, against Inter Milan, because it was actually a positive game, so it's going to be a positive tactical review today. Let's go and take a look at the clips I have got for you all today. All right, so first one that we're going to look at, and this is exactly what I was just talking about on the board with Jones's position. Now, we're trying to build up here something we've been really poor at this season, and I have gone on and on about how poor our build-up is and how we basically never build attacks from the back. All our attacks come from very slow possession, and we don't really build up fluidly through the lines, especially through the middle of the pitch. It's always through the wingers. This was a good example of how we did the opposite to that and actually built up using Jones in the Inter game. So Konate has the ball, typically been a problem for us this season. It just generally, Konate on the ball has been a problem. But he has a solution here, and it's not by kicking it this way with his right foot. It's actually going back inside to Jones, who's in a really awkward position for Inter to be able to pick up. He's essentially playing left back, or like we said here, left side of a back three, although he isn't really back in that back three position so much in this particular example. He's shifted a little bit further forward just purely to find the space, and Konate finds him with actually a really nice ball with his left foot. Now this is where Jones is really good. Barella comes over to press. Jones is super calm on the ball, really no concern with losing it. Very simple in the way that he plays here, and you can see the diamond, like, it's obviously fluidly moving all the time, but this is the 4 players that you need to focus on. So, oops, excuse me. It's a little bit skew-if there, but that's almost a diamond shape. If McAllister was a little bit further forward, you would have the diamond like that. He's just dropped in for build-up. Now, Jones just does a little dribble, and Barella is not interested in pressing him that high up the pitch. He just wants to get back in shape, so he retreats backwards. And Jones, having that confidence, just take a little dribble of the ball. He knows he's not going to lose it. That buys him the time he needs to run forward. And now he's looking to pass forwards, and this is something that we've struggled with. But in this game, we do it well. He's calm on the ball. You see McAllister takes a good position in between the lines in the centre of the pitch in that number 10 position. You've got Robbo providing the width. Gomez really high on the right, providing width as well. And Jones is confident, plays a nice sharp ball into McAllister, who can receive between the lines. You see this takes out into midfield 3. The defenders have to come and press. And McAllister even has options to hit forwards. You know, if Ekatike makes this run, maybe McAllister can find him in here. Can he go maybe over the top towards Isak, or even past Isak to Gomez? There's options for him to hit. But it doesn't quite progress that way. We still play a little bit too slow in this game for my liking. But, you know, let's give credit where it's due. It was a little bit better. He goes out to Robbo, and Robbo has time on the ball in to get back in their shape. But who's there again? It's Curtis Jones. He's now joined the attack in the next phase after we get out of our own half, which he helped us do. And again, he's confident on the ball. Barella is back pressing him. He knows he's got all this ability on the ball. We see the diamond again here like this. I'm going to keep highlighting that so you can see the two strikers are available. You see what we saw in like what I described to you on the board. Isak's occupying the last line and Ekatike dropping in to maybe be more of a passing option, more of a link-up type player. Jones, again, nice bit of dribbling, goes round Barella, and again fires a nice progressive ball into Isak, who actually shows really well here for this pass. It comes to Isak. He takes a good touch. Maybe he could link up with Szoboszlai, and this is where he's just lacking a little bit in his game at the minute, that sharpness, because he gets tackled here, and we don't actually manage to link up the attack. But who then comes to win the ball back? Curtis Jones once again. So that's not only the first phase of build-up, not only the second phase, but then the counter-press to win the ball back high up the pitch, all by Curtis Jones. Really, really good performance from him in this game. But not just, he's not finished there. You know, he goes at Mkhitaryan. Again, more dribbling that we're seeing. Just ghosts right by him, which in fairness is quite easy, given Mkhitaryan is basically a pensioner at this point. And he dribbles right by him like he's not even there, leaves him with his knees on backwards and takes a shot at goal, which almost goes in. I mean, Sommer makes a pretty comfortable save in the end, but there's other options for Jones here as well. I think maybe he could slide this to Gomez, and then Gomez can maybe square it. You've got Ekatike, you've got Isak running in for a potential tap-in, but the choice wasn't too bad, and he probably earned the right to have a shot in this position after his good play in the whole move. But this is what I'm talking about with the diamond. Jones in particular in the team, he's made a real difference, especially in this game, and that was an attack that we simply wouldn't see without that slight shift in formation and the confidence of him as a player. Now we move on. This is more of a defensive side, a defensive-sided clip, and I want to highlight Szoboszlai. So again, this is a transition here into trying to launch counter-attack, so that's why you've got the positions of Liverpool are a little bit all over the place. Not quite sure what's going on with Konate and Van Dijk here. A little bit all over the gaff, like I said, but it's pure transition, so everybody's trying to get back. But Szoboszlai is the one who makes the key run. That wouldn't be happening if Mo Salah was in the team. Now, none of this at all is a knock on Salah, and I really want to make that clear. I love Mo Salah, and I'm not saying like Liverpool cannot ever win a game again with Mo Salah. I'm just simply highlighting how we can afford to play this tactical setup without him in the team, because Mo Salah would not have ran back here from here. It just wouldn't have happened. But Gravenberch intercepts the ball. It comes to McAllister. Good defending from us. And again, it's Jones on the ball now, and we see more good play from him. He's got a player pressing him, Lautaro Martinez it is. Again, super press resistant, super confident on the ball. He's able to just wriggle around him. I mean, completely bamboozles him. He takes him completely out of the game. Again, driving at the defence. Really good from him. Good defending from us on the transition. Drives it into a good area. Finds Hugo Ekatike, who, again, having the two strikers up front just provides problems. We've struggled a lot against back threes so far this season, and I think that's because we haven't often had enough forward to stretch the back three and make them spread apart and have difficulty defending what we've got up front. We've often had wingers, you know, like in these positions, You can't see that one because I'm in the way. Like these positions here, like really, really wide, Gakpo and Salah, it's easy to defend against. Just pack the box with your big defenders and head the ball away from the crosses. Ekitike making runs like this and Isak filling up the box, it gives us options. And Jones finds him here. Ekitike does the right thing, he puts it in the area. Isak's not quite there, and this is where the link up between these two needs to grow, and the chemistry needs to grow. But I'm just simply highlighting the positive signs that you're seeing from having these two on the pitch, having this personnel. Again, good play from Jones. And another day, if Isak and Ekitike are more on the same wavelength, perhaps with a little bit more chemistry together, like I've just said, they find each other here, and we've gone from defending a counter-attack to actually launching one of our own. We've not seen that hardly at all this season. So again, really good play from Liverpool. So again here, we see another example of what I was talking about at the start of the video with our build-up shape. Now, kind of ignore the positions of the midfielders. I don't really know for sure how Szoboszlai ended up on the left-hand side here. He just covers 90% of the pitch at all times. You can ignore that, but focus on these three. You see how deep Jones is? This is completely intentional by Liverpool, by Arne Slot. He's drawn it up this way. And Konate really wide. We've seen him here a lot, and this game really, really wide, a bit more advanced than Van Dijk, who's in the centre, much more difficult position for a team to press him out of the game. He finds Konate, who quickly finds the solution, and that comes from a run in behind. And I've criticised Liverpool this season. I criticised them against Leeds for not making enough runs in behind. I don't think we have enough runners in the team, enough players in the team who are willing to run in behind and run past players off the ball. Konate does exactly that here, finding Ekitike, who makes that key run in behind. He's generally pretty good at making these runs, one of the better players in the side. I think he can improve, but definitely one of the better players. Makes a good run here, gets into a good position. And again, this is where we just see a little bit of lack of chemistry between him and Isak. Isak wants the ball here, and Ekitike has an opportunity to pass him it. You know, if he really fires this ball to him, maybe he can take the touch on his left foot as Akanji tries to reach in, maybe touch the ball around him and get a shot. Maybe he can take him on if the ball comes in and Akanji stands him up, try and shift and shoot on his right foot. But Ekitike wants to take on Acherbi. Now, he actually pulls Acherbi's hamstring off in going around him here and gets a really good opportunity to stand up across for Isak like this. Maybe chip it towards the back post. Doesn't opt for that. He opts for the sort of smash across, and Sommer is able to cut it out and I think concedes a corner from this particular passage of play. Isak has a good opportunity to head it in if Ekitike finds him. He doesn't in this scenario, but again, this is good examples of potential link-up play coming from our own build-up. We haven't really seen attacks from our build-up at all this season. They've been really, really few and far between. So excellent to see here, another good example. And this was our defensive shape. So this is just one photo that I've put in of our defensive shape. It's just simply us defending into trying to build up. And you see what I showed in the clips on the board earlier in the video with how we're set up. So we've got the split strikers with Isak and Ekitike almost acting as, I don't want to say wingers, but defending wider than the number 10, who leads the press it right in the middle. McAllister, this would be Wirtz if he was playing, not what we've seen where we've had Salah here. Maybe this is Isak or Ekitike and then Gakpo in this position. It's quite different. The three midfielders are here, deep, close to the defence, so then there's not much space in behind them, everything's in front. And let's be honest, Inter weren't really that difficult to defend against in this game. They were quite slow, they were quite predictable, they didn't really have a lot of attacks in the game except one really from that resulted in a Martinez header, which Alisson made a good save from. But just pointing out our defensive shape and how we're going to press if we run this formation back on the weekend or something like that. Now, second half comes in, us on the ball. Again, we see an attack come from our build-up. This time it's Gravenberch finding Szoboszlai on the ball. And Szoboszlai, again, fantastic game for him in this game. His level this season has been absolutely top. Inter not really interested in pressing us all that much in this game. It's not really the Italian style of play to come rushing onto a team whilst they build up. So Szoboszlai has all the time in the world to float a nice ball out to Robbo, but again, we see the diamond. Again, I'm going to draw it on the pitch. McAllister makes a good, a move away from the centre into this right-sided channel, just occupying Zielinski. Opens up a bit of space on this left-hand side where we find the space. Now we see Ekitike make a good run down the line. Really good from him. He can receive the ball. And we've still got box presence with Isak in the middle. And that's a key. If Ekitike made this run and Isak wasn't on the pitch, you can bet your life this area of the pitch would just be completely vacant and it's very easy to defend. Having them both on the pitch at the same time is a completely different set of problems for the opposition. Now, Ekitike comes inside, has a shot from distance, and that's all that comes of this attack. But again, it's another example of Liverpool doing good stuff. And think of where we've been this season. We've been absolutely in the gutter. Our football has been horrendous this season. I'll take the small wins of being able to go from defending on the ball to having shots at goal from distance, but relatively threatening positions, at least getting into them without having to play some like horrid football to get there. This is actually a lot smoother. Okay, so now we see what happens when we bring Florian Wirtz onto the pitch, and he comes on for Isak, so slightly different shape, but Wirtz did sort of come on and take that sort of attacking place of Isak, so the diamond still remained mostly intact. And you see him here, just behind my head, you can see his legs. He's calling for the ball, and Bradley is able to find him, who also came on the pitch and had a real positive impact. So Bradley does find Wirtz in the middle, found a bit of space, and he really started to get on the ball once he came on, and that was good to see. Ekitike again, filling that space. Even McAllister actually trying to get forward, and Szoboszlai doing his bit on the right-hand side as per. Ekitike is the one who makes the run that Wirtz finds. He gets in a decent spot again, a similar run to what we've seen him already make this game. And I've just left this in purely to just show us actually like building an attack again. It's just positive stuff from Wirtz mostly involved in the play. So, you know, settled possession now. The attack sort of dies down. Again, we are still a little bit too slow. Robbo gets onto the ball. He rotates it down to Szoboszlai, who rotates it down to Bradley. Bradley has a go at DiMarco, and this is where I'm saying him and Frimpong could really thrive in this type of formation where they are the width provider. They get to go one-on-one with fullbacks. Bradley's good at it, but Frimpong is probably even better at going one-on-one in the box and trying to, you know, burst past players. Bradley does it here. DiMarco blocks the cross. Nothing quite comes of this particular burst from Bradley, but the attack wasn't quite done there, and he actually gets on it again almost immediately after. This is the same exact passage of play. He now looks for a 1-2 with Ekitike. You see there's no winger here filling up this space. It's all going to come the width from Bradley. Ekitike does really well. His link up is so good. It really is. Takes it on the turn, finds that pass into Bradley, who gets in. On another day, he's able to sort of smash the ball into this far corner. His finish is not the best. It goes straight to Jan Sommer in the middle of the goal. But again, Frimpong, Bradley, they can really thrive in this formation. And we also see the other fullback, Andy Robertson, coming in at the back post with the striker Ekitike. And then we sort of ended up with 2 10s on with McAllister and Wirtz. It was difficult to say who took up that other sort of striker spot, but also fill in the box. That's really good. Now, another example here of us trying to build up for an attack late in the game as we progress later and later. We've got Wirtz shown for the ball, Gravenberch on it. Again, fullback's giving us the width. Wirtz wants the ball. It doesn't quite come to him, but we've got other options with Szoboszlai, which is who Gravenberch goes to, but Wirtz still wants to get on it. Szoboszlai plays him it. Wirtz is able to punch a pass forward into McAllister, who was at times acting as that second striker once Isak came off. Wirtz plays in the ball, McAllister gives it him back. Wirtz is trying to create something. He sort of tries a Revy back into McAllister, sorry. McAllister doesn't quite read it, it doesn't quite come off, we lose the ball. But this is a highlight that I've left in for Dominik Szoboszlai. Again, just look at this. This is another positive of the diamond. He's already in field, he's already in a good position to counter press. We get players around the ball, they try and play out. Szoboszlai's there to fill it in, win the ball. Gravenberch has stepped up well as well. He can see all the play. This is much better from us. Much more aggressive press. If you imagine us doing this against a team like Brentford, a team like Forest, who we really struggled against so far this season, if we're able to press like this when we lose the ball and sustain attacks, it'll be so much better, guys. It really will. And Szoboszlai is the key to that. Now, this is actually the goal, or the penalty that leads to the goal, and it's the last clip I'll show you of the game. It comes from Bradley again, who, like I said, made a real positive impact when he came on. On the right-hand side, finds Ekatike, who again tries to link up. Hard to tell if he's trying to flick this to Wirtz or back into Bradley's path. He actually sort of overhits it a little bit, and Bradley ends up getting onto it on the edge of the box. Finds Maka. Good play from Bradley, and Maka looks to find Hugo Ekatike. We end up with the ball in the box. We've got players in the box. We've actually built up again here. This is, again, good from us. Ekatike tries to chip it into Wirtz. Nothing comes of it, but Bastoni pulls his shirt and Wirtz falls down like he's been shot by the Mafia. And we get the penalty and we win the game. And that was sort of the last highlight that I felt worthy of showing you. Now, this game didn't have a lot of highlights in it, goals and chances and stuff, but I hope what I've pulled out shows the evolution of kind of the formation. Another change from us this season as Arne Slot tries to tinker and find the right balance. And I think this was a positive sign. The first one we've seen in a little while. Right, that is going to do it for today's video, guys. I really do hope that you did enjoy it. Yes, tactical video for this game. Like I said, focus on the diamond, focus on the new shape, focus on how Liverpool were able to control the ball better in build-up, really was today's focus of the video. So if you did enjoy, please do drop it a like. We have been absolutely smashing the likes lately, so really appreciate the support on the channel lately, guys. Let's get to 20 again. That's the target that we'll keep setting at the minute. Let's smash it again for another video. And if you could, guys, as well, if you're new around here, please do consider clicking subscribe. We are getting really close now to 250 subscribers, so really appreciate the support on the channel lately. Let's try and get to 250 before Christmas. Should we make that a goal? Got about 2 weeks to do it. Let's try and get there. I think we can do it. Click subscribe. Tell your friends about the channel. Let's get to 250 podcast listeners, 5-star rating and reviews. Follow the podcast. Really appreciate all of you guys as well. I'll be back tomorrow with a match preview ahead of the Brighton game. I'm going to be talking more about Salah, so if you want more Salah chat, stick around for that one. Until then, everybody, thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I'll speak to you all tomorrow. Goodbye.